Hey, good evening. Today's Bible study comes from Matthew chapter 21, verses 18 through 22. It reads as follows. Early in the morning, as Jesus was on his way back to the city, he was hungry. Seeing a fig tree by the road, he went up to it and found nothing on it except leaves. Then he said to it, "May you never bear fruit again." Immediately the tree withered. When the disciples saw this, they were amazed. "How did the fig tree wither so quickly?" they asked. Jesus replied, "Truly I tell you, if you have faith and do not doubt, not only can you do what it was done to the fig tree, but also you can say no. You can say to this mountain, 'Go, throw yourself in the sea,' and it will be done. If you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer." First of all, it speaks early in the morning when Jesus is on his way back to the city, because he was coming back from Bethany where he had spent the night. And he was hungry. So he saw a fig tree. A fig tree is supposed to produce fruit, and it was a fruit that Jesus was planning to eat. And when he went up to it, he found it had nothing on it except leaves. So he said to it, "May you never bear fruit again," because it didn't have fruit in it. It was supposed to. So immediately the tree withered. The tree shriveled up, died. When the disciples saw this, they were amazed. Of course they were, because here goes Jesus again doing things. "How did the fig tree wither so quickly?" they asked. Well, first of all, we know Jesus has had control over nature, and he's had control over spiritual. So this lets you know that Jesus truly controls everything, because to tell a tree you'll have no more fruit and then you wither, that's control over nature. So Jesus is telling you, I got control over everything. But Jesus replied, he says, "Truly I tell you, hey, you got to have this in order to do what I just did. If you have faith, and when you have faith, you can't have the second part of this verse, and it says, and do not doubt." So you got to have faith, and you can't doubt. Not only can you do what I just did with this fig tree, y'all, but you can say to the mountain, "Go throw yourself into the sea," and it will be done. And then he tells you again what happens if you believe. You will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. So he does speak to praying again. Jesus was always praying. He was always about praying. And we have to realize that Jesus controls the physical, the spiritual, and everything else. So speaking to this tree was nothing. And the fact that Jesus had unwavering faith, like I've said before, he didn't have that mustard seed. Jesus had that watermelon of faith. He just had a lot of faith, and he called on the Lord, and he knew who the Lord was, and he told him, if you have faith and do not doubt. And then he says at the end, if you believe, gotta believe, if you believe and you pray and ask for it in prayer, it will be answered. So Jesus is giving them hints to do what he did. So make sure that you practice your faith and believe in the Lord and stay true to his word. Now, if you have faith and doubt, removing mountains and rooting up of mountains are things that Jesus used here to say, handle great difficulties, handle great problems. And these can be difficult problems, because a mountain is something that's difficult to move. But he said, have faith. So when you have difficult problems, keep the faith. That's why it says after, if you believe, have faith, and do not doubt, because these things are difficulties in this world. And we have to know these things. The Lord's word also is to be understood, because the tree understood who was speaking to him and to it, and responded as was told. So we have to understand the Lord's word in order to keep our faith. And that's one of the things you see here with this tree. The tree knew what was going on, and it was something for the disciples to see. Even the tree knew the word of God. The Lord said, wither up. It said, you will not have this. So what happened? The tree had it. So this is a proverb of sorts, this little passage here. And just make sure that you understand that Jesus is explaining things to his disciples in this passage, and they're for us too. He controls it all, and everything knows who Jesus is. Everything. His tree knows. He had faith. Jesus tells you can move a mountain if you have it. Understand that if you have faith, you have power. If you put it in prayer and ask for it, and it is the Lord's will, you shall receive it. But you got to remember to pray. You got to pray. Amen.